Hi, friends and neighbors. This is Glenn Lyvers. For the last 25 years, I have run a hosting company called Instant Access Internet Services. You can find it at instantAccess.net. This is no surprise to my friends and family and partners. It's been a great service, and it's outperformed almost all hosting companies everywhere in the world for many years. And by outperformed, I don't mean it was the biggest and it made the most money, but we just have the best equipment and we serve pages the fastest. And that sounds like an unbelievable claim. I'm here to prove it today. So I just want to take a minute and thank everybody who has purchased hosting services, writing platforms, business websites over the years. It's been a great ride. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Let's get to the proof. Um, this may be one of the only marketing videos I've ever done. So let's just check it out. So here's the front page of instantAccess.net. As you can see, we use, if you were to read all this, you would learn that we use Lightspeed Web Server. It's one of the fast, well, it is. It's the fastest web server. And, it outperforms Apache, which is the internet standard. That's almost all websites are on Apache servers. They use Unix systems. And so there's some information here about why we're so great and why it's so fast and why, you should have your WordPress on our website. But, the thing that got me started on this video was I'm just tired of running into things. Maybe I have less patience today, but I just constantly run into these ads on Facebook that say, if you want WordPress, go to Bluehost. It was made for WordPress, or go to here and go to there. It's the best, hosting. And it's not. It's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. So I'm not going to say I have the best hosting services in the world, but we're good, and I'm going to prove it. So what I did do was over here, you can see this page. It says a live speed comparison. I made this page so you can see for yourself because anybody can claim that they're fast. And who's going to know, right? Unless you're in this business and you know how to test, you wouldn't be able to compare. So what I did was I went to Google, I typed in the best hosting companies in 2021. I found this article right up top, PC Magazine. These are the best web services for 2021. Here's the article right here. Um, you can click on it and see what I'm talking about. PC Magazine's very well respected, and here they are. They're saying these are the best businesses that are out there. Of course, Instant Access isn't on the list. We've just never done any advertising. I've always had enough business without that. And so one thing that people don't know is that there is an internet standard, a gold standard for testing page speeds. It's a tool that's given to us by Google. Everybody knows who Google is. It's called Page Speed Insights. And what happens is if you go to that tool and you type in a particular company's name, it'll go out there with a testing tool and independently check, and it'll tell you how fast their loading pages, how fast their own page loads. Good grief. If any page on your website should load fast, if you're a web hosting company, it's your own page, right? So, we can't be crybabying around the fact that they all lost this particular competition when compared to instant access. There's a little spoiler. Okay, so these are the ones. If you went to that PC magazine, you would read that these are the best companies in the world according to them right now. HostGator, A2 Hosting, Hacky Web Hosting, DreamHost, HostWinds, Liquid Web, One-on-One, WP Engine, GoDaddy, and Mojang. I tested GoDaddy. They're bad. They're really bad. And I worked with Liquid Web for years, and they're pretty good. Not as fast as we are, but they provide phenomenal customer service. I will say that about them. In any event, if you go down and you read this information, you're going to see that what I've done is I set up links to each one of these services so that when you click that link to HostGator, it goes to Google's independent third-party gold standard. I mean, this is something every developer in the world uses to test the speed because it was the only way I could think of to be able to show people that it's not biased. It's completely third-party results. So I'm going to go ahead and click on there. This is page speed insights. It's testing HostGator right now. And just to keep this video short, I'm going to go ahead and click on these. Each one opens in a new tab. So the plan is to get all these open. There's DreamHost, HostWinds, and in a couple of seconds. Now, it doesn't affect it to have all these running at the same time. Google's a huge company. Literally millions of people use this tool. You know, it's we're not stressing or biasing the server in any way. But I'll tell you what, if we were, then obviously the last one to load would be the one that was slided, and that's going to be us. So I'm going to click on Instant Access, and we'll go ahead and put our own self in the mix here. You just double check and see that all these are loading. Looks like they are. I just want to start with Instant Access. Look at that. We have a perfect score. I can tell you this. If you go to PageSpeed Insights right now, you type in the name of your hosting company, there's a very good chance that you're not going to get a perfect score. They're not going to be totally as fast as you can get, but we are, and we're not the most expensive either, I'll tell you that. So that's the proof right there. When you go to Google's PageSpeed tool and you check to see, you can see how fast it is. Uh, it's just amazing. Instant access servers running Lightspeed. We run Cloud Linux for greater security. We run cPanel servers. All these people say, you know, like cPanel in particular, oh, it makes a big load on the server. It slows everything down. When you have really great equipment, it doesn't slow it down. This is just people making excuses. Let's go look at this. So this is Emotion Hosting. Emotion Hosting has scored a 28. And you can just see, you know, these are the areas where they're slow and why. And you know, this is kind of like a report. Like I said, it's for developers, so it gives some insights to the visitor as to why they're so slow. But I mean, when it's red, that's bad. Okay, so usually those mean to me that as a server administrator, I can tell you that typically when it's red, it's poor development and the servers are overloaded and they're using Apache web servers, and it's just they don't have the same RAM, they don't have the same infrastructure that we have. They haven't invested the money. Um, what they want to do is make a lot of money by spending as little as possible, and that isn't putting your customers first. So here is GoDaddy. GoDaddy is a 58. Now, I have to tell you, this surprises me because the fact that GoDaddy is even in the yellow is weird to me because GoDaddy has historically been lousy. But you know, that's nothing to brag about. All right. And in terms of averages and in the middle, they're on the low end, right? 58 is you know, from 58 to 89, 58 is on the low end of that. But in any event, looks like GoDaddy has invested a lot to try and get that front page of theirs to load more quickly, but still it's a 58. So I don't know if I would brag about that, but I would say, I mean, just for me having very, very super low bar expectations from GoDaddy, that surprises me. WP Engine is a 36. I'm just gonna cruise along now. 36, they're in the red. Um, wow. INS, 25. 25. That's, I don't know how you can sell doing that. How do you sell people a website when you're that bad? Liquid Web 65. Now I told you that Liquid Web is not a bad company. They're a lot more expensive than I am, and their customer service is good though. I mean, their customers. I have to say, I've got nothing bad to say about Liquid Web, other than they're not as good as we are, but they're good. I wouldn't be afraid if you know if I lost all my stuff today and I had to go somewhere. I'd probably choose Liquid Web. I don't, maybe not. I've also worked with some other good companies like High Velocity and so forth, but this is Liquid Web's on the list, so there you go, 65. Respectable. Of this list, I think they're probably going to be the highest one. I haven't even looked yet, so you're seeing this with me. Wow, HostWinds is 75. See, I spoke too soon. HostWinds has obviously spent some serious work optimizing their front page. 75 is very respectable. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, you're scoring 100. How can you say these guys are, they're only 3/4 as fast? Well, you have to understand the overwhelming mentality in the hosting market is overload your servers, throw as many people on there as you can, don't spend any money, don't put customers first. It's prevalent in this market, which is really, it's very frustrating. So to see somebody even, it's not, even getting a 75, I would say is pretty good, uh, it on average. I mean, and just, throw a rock out there at hosting companies and you get a 75. That's not bad. A lot of companies would be thrilled with that if they could ever get that high. So, HostWinds, good for you if you ever come across this video. DreamHost 25. Completely predictable. I put DreamHost in that same sort of category with GoDaddy. Um, they, well, there it is, 25. I don't even have to say it. Just my, you know, is this all just my opinion? Well, these are independent results from their own front pages, but um, I'm sure people will argue and jealously guard their reputations but there you go. AccuWeb Hosting 54. Well, they're not in the red. They're not GoDaddy. They're not DreamHost. Are they a good hosting company? I've never used them, but I wouldn't go to a company if I went to their, before I chose a company, I'd go see how they're loading their own front page. So if they're only getting a 54, probably wouldn't have chose them. A2hosting.com, 34. Not as low as a couple of them we saw, right? But 34 still in the red. Well, I'm not going to say much more about that. HostGator, oh my gosh, HostGator is a 22. HostGator there's a whole host of these companies. I believe HostGator is an AIG company. That means Bluehost, HostGator. There's a whole bunch of them under that umbrella, and they're all absolutely terrible. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I wouldn't never. I'd go out of business first. If I had to use HostGator, I just quit. Because my reputation, is my hosting reputation is based on how well I do for my customers. But there you go. I'm going to leave this page up. So if you go to instantAccess.net and you click on live speed comparison, you can see for yourself. Click the buttons yourself. It'll take you to a third party. You don't have to take my word for it. Instant Access has great infrastructure. We use awesome equipment. We have phenomenal pipe speeds. You're just going to have a great experience. And we're not there, and I'm going to say that probably almost all of these companies are more expensive than we are. I didn't do that. That would make if I did a price comparison, this video would get really long-winded. Probably is already. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate um, every single one of you for helping Instant Access and the other projects I'm in be so successful. Take care. Bye-bye.